Yeah, let's start.
So we go to price elasticity of demand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is price elasticity of demand? For some goods, a price change will result in a large change in demand, and for others, a small change. Figure 1 helps to illustrate this. Two demand curves, DA and DB, are shown with different slopes representing two different products, A and B. The demand curve for product A is steep, and the demand curve for product B is flatter at the price of £10. Demand for both products is 100 units. However, when the price falls to £6, demand increases by different amounts for each product. Demand for product A only increases slightly to 120 units, but for product B, demand increases a lot more to 200 units. Demand for product B is more responsive to the price change. This relationship that exists between the responsiveness of demand and the change in price is called price elasticity of demand. So, price elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. That is the point.
Yeah.
The degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. So when we see what we see here, there's a steep graph and a flatter one. A steep one means that there's no significant change in the quantity demanded, and the flatter one shows that there's a significant change in the quantity demanded.
Yeah.
I think it's clear.
Yeah.
So that takes us to price elastic and inelastic. So we start with price inelastic. Well, they use this same figure. They said figure 1 shows that, okay, price inelastic demand. In figure 1, for product A, the price change resulted in a less than proportionate change in demand. This means that the change in demand was not as big as the change in price. Price fell by 40% from 10 to 6, but demand only increased by 20% from 100 to 120 units. When this happens, economists say that the product has price inelastic demand, or the demand is price inelastic. And the minority of goods such as petrol have price inelastic demand. So whenever there's a change in the quantity demanded of a product, but the change in the quantity the change in the quantity demanded does not reflect in the change in the quantity in the price of the product, then we call it inelastic demand. That means the demand for that product is price inelastic. So basically, it means that whatever price they sell the product will continue to sell.
Yeah.
That is why the demand is price inelastic. Then it takes us to price elastic demand. They said the same figure for product B, the price change resulted in more than proportionate change in demand. This means that the change in demand was greater than the change in price. Price fell by 40% from 10 to 6, while demand increased by 100% from 100 units to 200 units. When this happens, economists say that the product has price elastic demand, or that demand is price elastic. Goods with elastic demand are more responsive to price changes. Most goods have price elastic demand. So for price elasticity, it's either the demand for the product is price elastic, or the demand for the product is price inelastic. So now it takes us to calculation of price elasticity of demand. It is the percentage change in the quantity demanded over percentage change in the price.
Q2 minus Q1
1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. That's done. So here we have a change here. We said for a product, okay, for the product A in figure 1, there's an increase in price from, there's a reduction in price from 10 to 6. And the quantity demanded increases from 100 to 120. Yes or no? That's the point there. So price elasticity is done. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
So we go to the interpretation of numerical values of price elasticity of demand. So here we're talking about, as soon as we calculate our PED, the figures we get, the numbers we get, the values we get, what are the interpretations? What do they mean? That is the point.
Yeah.
So the values calculated above show whether demand is price elastic or price inelastic. If the value of price elasticity is less than 1, a fraction such as 1 over 2 or a decimal such as 0.5, demand is said to be price inelastic. So if the value of our PED is 0.5 or less than 1, it means that the PED is price inelastic. It's clear?
Yeah.
If the value of price elasticity is greater than 1, demand is said to be price elastic. So that means if our price elasticity is greater than 1, we could simply say that the demand for that product is price elastic.
Yeah.
I think it's clear. Note that the minus sign is not used to determine whether goods are price elastic or price inelastic. It is enough to focus on the numerical value. So for PED, basically you just have to focus on the values, not the negative sign or the positive sign. Most of the time we use the positive and negative sign when it comes to inferior goods or normal goods.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yes.
So we move on. We go to factors influencing price elasticity of demand. The value of price elasticity of demand for a product is mainly determined by the ease with which consumers can switch to other similar substitutes products. A number of factors are likely to be determine this. So when we talk about price elasticity of demand, one of the things that determine if the PED is elastic or inelastic is the availability of substitute goods. So how soon are we going to be able to get a substitute? Or how much more time do we have to wait to get substitute for that product will determine if it is if the PED is elastic or inelastic. Do you get the point here?
Mm-hmm.
So if the price of a product increases, for example, if the price of a product increases, so we need to check if we are able to find a substitute at this time, at the time of increase or not. If we are unable to find a substitute at the time of increase, then the demand for that product will be price inelastic. But if it's easy for us to find a substitute at the present time where the price increases, then we can say the demand for the product is price elastic.
Yeah.
That's about time. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
Then we go to competition for the same product. Some businesses face highly price elastic demand for their products. This is because they are in very competitive market where their product is either identical or a little different from those produced by other businesses. Farmers, for example, when selling wheat or potatoes are in this position. If they push their prices above the market price, they will not be able to sell their crop. Customer will simply buy elsewhere at the lower market price. Competition for the same product. So if products that have the same usage or that have a close usage like others increases their price, then the responsiveness will be elastic because consumers will find substitutes. Do you understand?
Yes.
So products that are sold in a competitive market are always price elastic.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So that is the point there. They'll go to branding. Some products are branded. The stronger the branding, the less substitutes are acceptable to customers. For example, many buyers of Kellogg's cornflakes do not see supermarket own label brands as good substitute for Kellogg's. They will often pay 50% more to buy Kellogg's rather than another brand. Successful branding, therefore, reduces the price elasticity of demand for the product. So here they're saying, if a product has a strong brand, the demand for its the price elasticity of demand for such products will be price inelastic because consumers will not be, they won't care about the price. They won't care about the price. Why? Because they felt that they are emotionally attached to such brand.
Yeah.
Get the point here. Look at the first one we talked about is the time for price elasticity of demand. If it's easier for us to be able to find a substitute, the ease at which we find a substitute will determine if the product is price elastic or inelastic. That means if there's an increase in price right now and we are able to find a substitute at that present time of the price of the increase in price, then the demand for that product will be price elastic. Yeah. But if it is difficult to find a substitute at the present time, then demand for that product is price elastic. Yeah. If we are unable to find, if we can't find a substitute, it will be elastic. If we cannot find substitute.
Yeah, at the meantime.
Yeah, it will be elastic. If you cannot, it will be inelastic, sorry. Yes. But if we can find substitute at that time, it will be price elastic. That's what we're saying. Yes. Then that is for time. Then for competition of the same product. So here we're talking about close substitutes or closer to be a substitute. Yes. So if a product is increasing its price and substitutes are available, substitutes are in the market, then the demand for such products will be price elastic because they are close substitutes for that product. But if there are no close substitutes for that product, the demand for that product will be price inelastic for substitute. Yeah. And that takes us to branding. For branding, we're talking about how strong the brand is. if the brand is so strong, people will be emotionally attached to such brand. So whatever the brand is, whatever price the brand is selling, consumers will be willing to pay more to buy such product rather than buy from its competitors. So a product with a strong brand will have its PED inelastic. But if your brand is not strong, it's not that strong, whenever you increase your price, consumers will stop buying from you. That means the demand for your product will be price elastic because you don't have a strong brand. Because a strong brand puts you in a better position in the market. I think PED is clear there.
Yeah.
Then the fourth one, the proportion of income spent on a product. If the amount of money you have to spend on a product is just so little, then the demand for such product will be inelastic because you are spending small proportion of your income buying that product. But if the amount of money you have to spend on that product is going to take large chunk of your income, the demand for such product will be price elastic. Do you get it? So that is the proportion of income spent. So the amount of money you have and the amount of money you are spending on a product will determine if the product is price elastic or inelastic. I think that is clear. So these are the factors that determine if the product is price elastic or inelastic. And there's another one, the product types versus the product of an individual business. So yeah, so most products are made and sold by a number of different businesses. Petrol, for example. So basically, let me just explain this. The type of product and the type of individual product made from such. If it is an individual product, like your own product is made. So the demand for your product, if you increase the price of your product, because your product is just like any other product. It does not have any corporate name or whatsoever it is. So if you increase the price, the demand for it might not increase. Do you get it?
Yeah.
But if the type of product you sell is a product that is corporate, so if you increase the price, it can still be priced inelastic. You don't get it? Okay, let me use this. They said petrol, for example, is processed and sold by companies such as Shell, Esso, and Total. The major supermarkets also sell petrol, which they are bought from independent producers. Demand for petrol is priced inelastic in the short term. But demand for Shell petrol or Esso petrol is priced elastic. This is because petrol has no real substitute in the short term. But Esso petrol is a very good substitute for Shell petrol in general. A product category like petrol, carpet, or aircraft has a much lower price elasticity of demand than product within the category made by individual businesses. So what they are saying is this. Shell is a name of a company that sells petrol.
Okay.
Total is the name of a company that sells petrol, that deals in petrol. And there are other independent marketers that sell petrol. So Shell Petroleum is not different from Total Petrol. So if Shell increases its price, it is price elastic because they could buy from Esso, they could buy ExxonMobil, they could buy from Total. That is the point. But when it comes to independent marketers, because they are selling specific goods, they are selling specific brand of products, which Shell might not be selling. Yeah. So they've created a niche within that market. As a result, the demand for their own products might be priced inelastic.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get it? So they are different. So because what they sell is not what others do sell. They have created a niche for themselves. That's why they are independent. They call them independent marketers. So they are independent marketers. So the price at which they sell, and those that they sell to, if those that they sell to, they might have to sell at a higher price. You wouldn't have any choice. Shell will not sell to those people. Do you get it? Yeah. Shell might sell to independent marketers. Shell will not sell directly to consumers. Yeah. Do you get it? Yeah. So because Shell will not sell directly to consumers, Shell will sell to some countries. Do you get it? Yes. Those that Shell sell to are the same customers Mobil will sell to, are the same customers Total will sell to. As a result, if Shell increases its price, those consumers in the short run might buy from others. Do you understand? Yes. So that is the point they are making there. So however strong the branding and however little the competition that our individual product faces, it is still likely that a business will sell at a price where demand is price elastic. To understand why, consider a product which has price inelastic demand, as explained above. So if a product has if a product has a PED that is inelastic, definitely it could sell at a higher price. No matter what price it sells, consumers will buy. And this will be as a result of one, maybe the time at which you need to find substitute is difficult. Two, it might be that there's no competition in that market. Three, it might be because it is associated or linked with a very strong brand. Or four, it is an individual business. So these are the reasons why the demand for a product might have an inelastic PED or elastic PED. Is it clear?
Yes.
So we go to price elasticity of demand and pricing. A business may consider price elasticity of demand when setting the prices of its products. For a minority of products, demand is price inelastic. This means that if a business raises its price, there will be a less than proportionate fall in demand. For example, if a business selling a product that is price inelastic raises prices by 10%, demand might fall by, say, 7%. This suggests that raising price when selling products with inelastic demand would be a good strategy. The price, okay, so basically what they are saying is this. If you are selling a product that is priced inelastic, it will definitely reflect in the revenue you make in the product, because you will be able to sell at a higher price. That is the point here.
Yes.
Because your PED is inelastic, you can sell at a higher price. Selling at a higher price will increase your revenue at the end of it all. Do you get the point there? Do you get it or not?
Yes, yes, yes.
So a price, when the demand for your product is price elastic, it's better you sell at a price that is maybe competitive pricing or at a lower price, because consumers are conscious about pricing, about price of your product. But if it is inelastic, you can sell as much as high as possible. Consumer will not care, they will buy. They will buy rather than buying from competitors. That is the PED and price. So you have to determine. So for you to determine, you have to determine based on, you have to increase your price or reduce your price based on your PED.
Yeah.
That is the point. Then it takes us to PED and total revenue. We know total revenue to be price multiplied by quantity demand or quantity sold.
Yeah.
So when the business changes its price, there will be a change in demand and therefore a change in total revenue. It will be useful for a business to know what effects a particular price change might have on total revenue. The value of price elasticity can help here. So basically what they're saying is this: if you increase the price of your products, it will definitely change your total revenue. So if you reduce the price of your product, your total revenue might fall.
Yes.
You know why? Because the quantity sold might increase, but the amount you used to sell might fall. The amount you used to make before that fall in price might reduce. So selling at a lower price does not automatically mean that you will increase your revenue. That is the point.
Yeah.
But an increase in price might increase your total revenue. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, to conclude, the conclusion, they said, to conclude, if businesses know the value of price elasticity of their products, they can predict the effect on total revenue of any price changes they make. They well know, they will know, for example, that if demand for their product is elastic, the price reduction will increase total revenue. This might help to explain why many rail companies charge lower prices for off-peak rail travel. By lowering the price, more travelers are attracted and revenue rises. Demand during the off-peak period must be price elastic. Do you get it? Because during off-peak period, you don't see more passengers. At that point in time, you should reduce the price to encourage people to come and to buy, to encourage people to use your service.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they said, so if you know that the demand for your product is price elastic, the only time you can increase your revenue is to reduce the price.
Yeah.
I think that's the point they're making there. I think it's clear. Well, that's all about price elasticity of demand. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first question said define term elastic demand. Elastic demand is when demand changes significantly as a change in price.
Price elastic demand. Yeah.
Elastic, yeah.
There's a significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price.
Explain one factor that might affect price elasticity of demand. One factor, time.
Time, yeah.
Yeah,
Explain. Explain.